Hi there, this is Lee McQueen. And if you're just tuning in to the 2016 presidential election because you've been avoiding it or shutting it out or trying to focus on your own life rather than the craziness that's been going on all the election season, starting even before the primaries began, through the primaries and the chaos and mayhem that was the primaries, and then now this election season through the presidential debates. And now early voting has begun in many states, and people are going to be voting all the way through November 8th. And so many people have been watching closely and participating. For those who have been busy with other things, I'm going to start a video, this video actually, running through Wikileaks. Wikileaks, the publishing news source run by Julian Assange that collects data from many sources and then releases that data to the public for knowledge, protecting their anonymous sources. And so WikiLeaks has released a large amount of data from different sources, information about our election system, politicians, the political process, media, and the illusions that people have had about our system, and conspiracy theories that actually have been proven to be actual, not theory, but reality. Besides Julian Assange, Guccifer 2.0 and Project Veritas, and then also various independent media sources have also revealed a lot of incriminating evidence that the Democratic primary specifically was rigged in favor of Hillary Clinton against Bernie Sanders, and that this contrast with the Green Party, with the Libertarian Party, and with the Republican Party, whose primaries seem to be straightforward, the voting being within the margin of error, and no activity, serious activity, or large amounts or quantity or noticeable amounts of fraud occurring in these three other parties. It centered on the Democratic primary. And then also continuing on through the election season, the Democratic Party versus the Republican Party, and some of the collusion with media, collusion against other smaller parties. WikiLeaks has actually released information consisting of emails between Democratic Party members, high-ranking DNC, and then also members of the Hillary Clinton for President campaign team that actually reveals quite a bit of conspiracy theories, suspicions of corruption and collusion, and it kind of bears it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to name off the number of the email and give a small subject line so you can go back and search the WikiLeaks site for these emails, for the numbers, so you can read the full text yourself if it sounds interesting to you. And then also I'll try to have the numbers in the note field, in notes in the video, so you can follow along. And if you see a number that specifically catches your interest, you can track that number and look up the full text of the email yourself. So to begin, there is implication. Someone writes in an email that Bernie Sanders is a pro, and his inclination will be to play ball if Hillary is nominated, and urge his supporters to come around. Okay, we'll stop there. More on Bernie Sanders. This is email 1193. Massive hits file on Bernie. Email 3023. Donna Brazile leaked Bernie Sanders information, insider information, to the Hillary Clinton campaign. Donna Brazile was vice chair of the DNC. She was supposed to be neutral. She acted as a mole, leaking information from Bernie Sanders' campaign during the primary to the Hillary Clinton campaign. Email number 3188. This refers to Bernie Sanders supporters as bedwetters. Number 3609. There are threats to cut off funding to a certain Sanders superdelegate. Number 3990. Hillary Clinton should stop attacking Sanders, especially when she says things that are untrue, which she often does. And so this is within her own campaign that they acknowledge that she says things are untrue. And we all know that now as public versus private positions. And then we also know that as lies too as well. And her team knows that too. Number 5423. The Dems plan to fool bitching Sanders supporters into thinking that they've won something, which is false illusions of victory. We'll throw Sanders a bone. It doesn't make a difference because we don't lose. And that's likely a referral to the Democratic Party platform. Number 5616. Donna Brazile and John Podesta are engaged in email conversation. Donna Brazile pledges to be, quote, your biggest surrogate, unquote. And this is actually 7 months prior to the Democratic National Convention, which is January 2016. Again, Donna Brazile was supposed to be neutral. And number 8248. Carbon tax. Hillary Clinton supports the carbon tax only to neutralize Bernie Sanders. They know that it's something that she doesn't want to promote for the general election, but during the primary, she's going to take the public position of supporting the carbon tax, even though that's not her private position. Email number 10669. We are going to need his voters to turn out in November for Hillary Rodham Clinton, Bernie Sanders supporters, because he will not be nominated, and that's dated July 17th, 2015. So, a year prior to the actual Democratic National Convention, before the first debate, before the primary even started, before the voting, they already knew that Bernie Sanders would not win. 21908, de Blasio is called a terrorist for saying nice things about Bernie Sanders. And this is part of the psychological warfare conducted by the Hillary Clinton campaign against supporters of Bernie Sanders, online, offline, via the media, via the internet, of the psychological damage inflicted in order to elevate Hillary Rodham Clinton. 2224. The Hillary Rodham Clinton campaign set up a meeting with Bernie Sanders and female senators in the U.S. Senate. And then they leaked the details of that meeting in order to make Bernie Sanders appear as if he's being reprimanded for being a sexist. And so this is shaping media narratives. Again, a type of psychological warfare. Number 22262, Sanders supporters are called paranoid internet dwellers. And they've also been called basement dwellers and bucket of losers. But this is regarding the emails. So many names attributed to Bernie Sanders supporters, none of them flattering. Okay, so that was regarding Bernie Sanders. Now I'm moving on to the Clinton Foundation. Email number 1127. Clinton Foundation is tied to the uranium deal, which Hillary Clinton was involved in the approval of sale to Russian organizations 20% of U.S. Uranium. Email 2301, Bill Clinton is damaging Hillary Clinton. Email 2485, donor amounts to the Hillary Clinton campaign include George Soros. Number 4492, the Clinton Foundation has no internal audits. Number 6009, the Clinton Foundation has exceeded its original authorization from the IRS. Number 6900, there's a discussion of warning about the visuals on Haiti and the Clinton Foundation donations plus the mining contracts. Number 8396, Bill Clinton receives $1 million birthday check from Qatar. Number 9388, more pay-to-play discussion. Number 9422, discussions of Saudi donations. Number 12401, Chelsea Clinton has a list of ethical concerns regarding the Clinton Foundation. Number 12830, the Clinton Foundation is not spending money on what they claim. Number 22030, Hillary Clinton is doing pay-to-play with the King of Morocco. Number 25201, Clinton Foundation schemed with Big Pharma to keep the price of drugs high in North America. Number 25737, Clinton Foundation profiteered from the Ebola effort in Liberia, similar to the suffering in Haiti. Number 26121, Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton were told by key staff to stop accepting foreign donations, which they ignored. Okay, this is regarding Correct the Record. 7005, David Brock runs Correct the Record. 16024, Jennifer Granholm, former Michigan governor, is on the Correct the Record payroll. This is regarding Donald Trump. Number 3599. The Clinton campaign says that they need an unaware and compliant citizenry in order to defeat Donald Trump. Number 4518. Clinton Foundation wants to generate false USA champs. They describe the Trump supporters as angry white guys. Number 4664. The Clinton campaign coordinates attack strategies against Donald Trump with the New York Times. Okay, this is foreign policy. Number 927, there's an attachment in which Hillary Rodham Clinton bragged about bonding with Vladimir Putin, bragging about being invited to his internal sanctum. And again, there's a reminder that there was a sale of U.S. uranium to Russian organizations, 20%, in which Hillary Clinton was involved. And then also there's mention that Hillary Clinton wants open trade and open borders, which is support for Trans-Pacific Partnership. 1488, there's description of drone chemical warfare. Number 2038, Hillary Clinton's advisors blame Hillary Clinton for Benghazi. Number 3774, Saudi Arabia and Qatar are funding ISIS, and there's proof. Number 6330, there's a trade deal explanation, and it's only for sophisticated audiences. This is media collusion, and this is going to be the longest section. because as some of us who have closely observed media coverage of the primary and then the election season, media coverage was very much biased and slanted towards Hillary Clinton and her campaign against every opponent that she had, every serious challenger. And that's from Bernie Sanders during the primary to Donald Trump during the election, and then also Jill Stein and Gary Johnson eventually, when they discovered that Gary Johnson actually was getting votes from people who would otherwise support Hillary Clinton. So this section is media collusion. Number 844, getting the New York Times article drafts prior to publication. Number 910, Vice News does whatever Soros wants. Number 1106, more pre-published New York Times articles passed along for review by the campaign. Number 1216, media collusion with Podesta with advance warnings of articles to come. Number 2105, the GOP debate moderator had lunch with Hillary Rodham Clinton's campaign chief 3 weeks prior to the debate. And you can also see number 4303. And that CNBC John Hardwood trashes the GOP candidates in an email to John Podesta. So those are related. Number 3023, Donna Brazile conspired with Hillary Rodham Clinton's campaign to defeat Bernie Sanders. 3029, there's a list of reporters taking marching orders from Hillary Rodham Clinton. Number 3782, Hillary Rodham Clinton's campaign thanks Univision owner Haim Saban for the moderators handling of Hillary Rodham Clinton against Bernie Sanders. Number 3990, Hillary Rodham Clinton is considered a liability and parasitical to Bernie Sanders. Number 4180, the Boston Globe campaign conspires with Hillary Rodham Clinton, her campaign, to give Clinton a big present. Number 4213, New York Times gave Hillary Rodham Clinton veto power on quotes. Number 4271, there is a scripted MSNBC interview. Number 4303, CNBC John Harwood trashes GOP candidates in email to Podesta. Let's see, 454. I think that's 8. I'm having trouble reading my own writing. Podesta hosts 30 of your reporter friends for dinner. And let's see. More media collusion. 4836, head of Yahoo News plans a pro-Hillary Clinton pieces with John Podesta. Number 5142, media collusion with NBC. Number 5205, Donna Brazile is busted, sharing CNN town hall questions with Clinton camp and not the Sanders camp. Donna Brazile was confronted on this by Jordan Chariton of the Young Turks, and then also Megyn Kelly, Fox News, and her reaction can be looked at by yourself if you have a moment, but it was incriminating the way she reacted to both people who interrogated her on this issue. There was a look of guilt on Donna Brazile's face and in her voice. Number 5953, there is a private off-the-record cocktail party with 38 influential reporters, journalists, editors from 16 different mainstream media outlets, including CNN, NBC, CBS, New York Times, MSNBC. And it describes this meeting as framing the race. And there's an attachment to that email. Number 7524, Clinton staff placing a story with Politico and New York Times with a friendly journalist, and that journalist's name is Maggie Haberman. 7570, media collusion, progressive media, and the Clinton Foundation. Number 7699, Clinton staff leak reports to New York Post for publication. Number 7710, CNBC colludes with John Podesta on what to ask Donald Trump when he calls in for an interview. Number 7742, Brent Badowski of The Hill and Huffington Post advised Hillary Rodham Clinton's campaign. 7899, media collusion with Hillary Clinton and The Hill. Number 8468, Hillary Clinton controls the release times of certain Associated Press articles prior to the Associated Press premature call of the race prior to the California primary. Number 8678, Fox News. A Fox News mole leaked town hall questions to the Clinton campaign on late-term abortion. Number 9007, Clinton staff collude with New York Times and Wall Street Journal to paint Hillary Clinton's economic policies as progressive. Number 9268, there's collusion with Washington Post. Number 9416, the campaign is aware of New York Times articles prior to publication. Number 9530, Washington Post Bureau Chief protected John Podesta. 9586, Hillary Clinton's campaign collusion with New York Times reporter Mark Leibovich. Number 9922, big media collusion. Number 10119, John Harwood, CNBC and New York Times journalist, shows bias towards Podesta and the DNC. Number 10160, collusion with DNC and Univision and Telemundo and Spanish radio. Number 10288, Hillary Clinton staff got questions and answers in advance of forum with Sanders and O'Malley and Hillary Clinton. Number 11277, Clinton camp instructs Associated Press, Politico, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post on what to say and when about medical records, speech income, and how to word the headlines. Number 12063, there's a list of media who attended the off-the-record private Podesta party. John Hillman, John Halperin, Maggie Haberman, and others, mostly New York Times, Bloomberg, MSNBC, CNN, and this is April 2015. Again, right after Hillary Clinton announces, certainly before any big, major campaigning, before any of the debates, before any of the primaries, there's already conversation between John Podesta and parties and cocktails and schmoozing, things like that, way back when. Number 12189, further indication of Politico, Hillary Clinton bias. Glenn Thrush checks to make sure his article is okay to publish. So that was 12189. There's also Thrush in 12681, 18744, 22284. So those 4 emails indicate Thrush is taking instructions from the subjects that he's covering. Number 12196, Chuck Todd has trouble with NBC, or that's the person to call if there's trouble with NBC. 12241, Hillary Clinton is given questions and answers for TV appearances. Number 12403, there's close coordination between Eric Schmidt of Google and Clinton camp as early as 2014. Number 12417, the Clinton camp is getting questions in advance for debate. John Stoltz regarding veterans. Hillary Clinton prepares for the GOP fallout. So there's questions within the GOP debate. One of them concerns veterans. And Hillary Clinton is tipped off because just in case they badmouth her, she has a statement ready to address whatever comes up in that GOP debate. Number 13817, Brett Budowski is serving as an informal advisor or operative, masquerading as a journalist. 15092, Mark Zuckerberg. And you can just look that up and see what you think. Number 15261, collusion with Maggie Haberman of the New York Times. So there's more. These are offensive voter statements. Correct the Record is described as nerd virgins. 1637, there's implication that Hillary Clinton refers to African Americans as losers. 3188, there's text here calling or referring to Sanders supporters as bedwetters. And again, basement dwellers, bucket of losers, people who do not do research, and so Hillary Clinton feels sorry for them, etc. Number 1152, there's recommendation of not addressing the needs of black voters. Instead, just hire a black person to serve in a high position. Number 16492. And this is dated from February 27th, 2016, earlier this year. There's an interpretation that the Clinton campaign views police brutality as political fodder. If you suspected that, reading this email 16492, view that and then you decide. Number 2175 is reference to, these are general or etc. or miscellaneous statements. 2175, reference to bird dogging, which is using plants in gatherings to incite mayhem at events of opponents. And that was also backed up by the James O'Keefe Project Veritas video. So there's multiple examples of bird dogging in this email, which is 2175, and then the O'Keefe video that resulted in 2 operatives of the Democratic Party stepping down. One was fired and one resigned his position. 2986, Hillary Clinton decided on Tim Kaine as vice president, July 2015. So whatever dancing around about Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren or Julian Castro, it was already decided that Tim Kaine, more than a year ago, would be the VP. That was just entertainment, smoke and mirrors, and theater for the progressives who were considering voting or supporting the Hillary Clinton campaign. It was just smoke, mirrors, delusion. Number 3774, Hillary Clinton admits that Saudi Arabia and Qatar funded ISIS, but she takes the money anyway. Okay. Number 4364, Jennifer Palmieri mocks Catholics. Number 5486 is expression of intent and guilt. Number 5690, Biden aide Ron Klain sabotage Biden's presidential aspirations, and he also served as a mole within the Gore campaign back in 1999. Number 6391, there's discussion of email deletions. Number 7460, there's knowledge of classified emails and plans on how to deny their existence. Number 8190, Citigroup actually chose Obama's cabinet according to the interpretation of this email. Number 9545, proof that Obama knew about server. Number 9961, pay for play ambassadors. Number 15464, Bernie Sanders is described as a doofus by John Podesta. Number 15542, rigged polls and plans to oversample favorable groups. Number 15722, the Hillary Clinton campaign is given heads up on stories from Politico prior to publication. Number 16329, observer writer colluding with the Hillary Clinton campaign. Number 17435, media collusion, sort of getting a story a week in advance to allow time to prepare a statement. Number 19070, Sheryl Sandberg, COO of Facebook, says this to John Podesta in May of 2015, 1 month after Hillary Clinton announces her candidacy. Quote, and I still want Hillary Clinton to win badly. I am still here to help as I can. She came over and was magical with my kids. Number 21526, Clinton camp receives insider town hall information from Fox on carbon tax and late-term abortion. Number 24675. There's a quote by Bradley Cummins. I think the Denver Post editorial board could smack Sanders if we want them to. Number 25264, advance notice of an article. Number 6008, there's mention of wet works at the Vineyard just days before the Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia's death. Let's see. I think this is the last few. 18353. Hillary Clinton flip-flops on progressive, being a progressive versus a moderate. Podesta apparently doesn't believe her when she says she doesn't remember saying what she, is being a moderate. So it's, public versus private. It's this versus that. She'll say whatever she wants to say, what she feels she needs to say. She'll say this to Podesta. She'll say this over here. And even her own team knows, it's whatever. 18353. There's concerns that Hillary Clinton doesn't know what planet that we're living on. Number 22898. Her team cannot figure out her coherent position on Trans-Pacific Partnership. Again, it's whatever. I mean, everything you ever thought was going on within the Hillary Clinton campaign. Everything that you suspected that you theorized, that you felt. And they kept saying, well, there's no evidence. There's no proof. Where's your proof? Where's your evidence? Where's your evidence? Where's your proof? And now that we have these emails, that there's been discussion on these issues, there's been multiple dumps of information. There's now video, there's audio leaks, there's Goldman Sachs transcripts. So there's information coming out. Things to consider. You can look up these email numbers yourself, and then you have your own interpretation of what you're reading. You don't have to rely on what the Clinton campaign says, what the media says. You don't even have to rely on what I say. You can just look at these numbers and go to Wikileaks, do a search on the whatever number you want to, and read for yourself, and you decide what's really going on. Good luck.